it actually did not start exactly on that date. It started, the roots of it go back to much earlier than that. But before we talk about the conflict, I want to introduce to you the International Institute for Muslim Unity, for those of you who are joining us for the very first time. The International Institute for Muslim Unity was established at the International Islamic University, Malaysia, about 20 years ago, through the wisdom of the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Mahathir Mohamad, and the former president of the university, Tan Sri Sanusi Junid. The idea was that as an international Islamic university, we have to be concerned about the Ummah, about the global Muslim community, the welfare, the challenges that we are facing. And we have to look at all these things by organizing events like this, fora, webinars, conferences, and publishing books and monographs and journal articles, and all discussing all issues related to our Muslim Ummah. So we have focused especially on areas of the Ummah which are in facing challenges, especially areas in conflict. We have had seminars on Somalia, on Palestine. We have had issues on Kashmir. Even yesterday, we had a webinar on Kashmir. And Sudan is a very special case. Now, for me personally, I'm the deputy director of the institute, my director being Professor Tamim. Now, I'm from Uganda, which is a neighbor to Sudan, and I've been to Khartoum several times, and I was shocked, actually, when on the morning of Saturday, April 15th, 2023, I saw the news. It was like a joke. These forces attacking Marwi air base, and then the conflict starting. And we thought it is something that is going to last for a few days and stop. And now we are here almost going to, already 2 years, and it's still going on. Thousands of lives lost, millions displaced, billions of properties destroyed. I think it is very important for us as the IIUM community and the IMU community. We really want to listen to people who are familiar with the place, who are from the place, to let us know exactly what happened, and to let us have some hope, how things are going to be in the future, how we are going forward. So for this webinar, we invited very important brothers who are with us here in Malaysia. I will introduce them going alphabetically by their first name. We have Dr. Ahmed Abdul Baki. Now, Dr. Ahmed Abdul Baki is an expert on Islamic civilization. I personally have been with Dr. Ahmed for the past 20 years. We studied together while we were pursuing our PhD at the International Institute for Islamic Civilization. We were together, and we have continued, being together in Kuala Lumpur. Currently, he works with the Sudanese embassy in Kuala Lumpur. Now, he knows very well what is going on in Sudan in all spheres. And of course, he has been here. He has lived in Malaysia that long. He knows Malaysia. He understands Malaysia very well. So he can be a bridge for us, as those of us who are based in Malaysia, to understand exactly what is going on. Now, second on the list, but he has not joined us. Oh, he's with us, Professor Mohammed Noor Taha. Welcome, Prof. Taha. Yes, Professor Mohammed Noor Taha, also from Sudan, but currently based in Uganda. He is the Dean of the Faculty of Agribusiness at the Islamic University in Uganda. But prior to the conflict, he was the Vice Chancellor of the University of Kordofan in Sudan. So he is very well placed and very well aware of what is going on and what has gone on. And inshallah, he's going to share with us his insights into the conflict and its importance for us as the global Muslim Ummah. Now, third, we have Professor Nasruddin Ahmed Kabashi Abul Futuh, who is a professor of chemical engineering at the International Islamic University. Professor Nasruddin has also been with us here in Malaysia for, yeah, it is going almost to 20 years. He's a very wonderful brother. I know him very well. Sometimes I do visit his office and I learn a lot from him. And I hope together, inshallah, we are going to learn from all of them. So that is basically what we have. Now, we have about 2 hours from now until about 5 o'clock. Yes? We have about 2 hours from now until 5 o'clock. So what I thought the way we are going to go, not to be favorite or to not to appear as if we are preferring one person above others, I have chosen to follow the alphabetical arrangement in their presentation. So inshallah, I will be asking each person to give us his insight, to summarize how he understands the conflict in about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we go to the next one. And after that, for the audience, if you have any questions, please write them in the notes. Yeah, write in the chat your question, because we don't want to interrupt their presentations by some other people speaking. So if you have any questions, if you have any comment, write it in the note. And after they finish speaking, we'll have time for questions and answer. But I prefer that it is written questions so that to save time, inshallah. So we're going to start by, as I said, alphabetically with Dr. Ahmed Abdul Baki. So Dr. Ahmed, tafadhal. And I understand you prepared a presentation for us, so please.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Indeed, it is a precious time that you're having us all here to talk about the issue of Sudan that is dear to us all. And as you mentioned, Dr. Siraj, we have been friends for a long time. And I think you are senior batch in the university. And then after that, we met many times in public functions and lectures. So today, I don't know where to start, because it's so sad, as you have mentioned, to see that Sudan in this situation, where whenever you look, you see destructions and you see brutal crimes committed against civilians or innocent civilians, and name it, all kind of these brutal crimes and heinous crimes has been committed for years against civilians in Sudan. So let's start with a brief historical perspectives about the rapid support forces, who they are, and what is their previous or just brief history in Sudan. It started when they called them Janjaweed. In Arabic, Janjaweed is a Jan who ride the horse, a diamond riding a horse. This is show from the name how they are brutal as. Then just I will share some of the slide. Who are those people? Janjaweed. The term Janjaweed, it is a diamond that rides horse. They organize their groups and raid villages for looting and plundering in North Darfur. They call Janjaweed, and the south they call Jagat. Janjaweed, in terms of definition, they are bandits who plunder villages. Their customs, cultures, and roots trace back to neighboring countries like Chad, most of whom are young men who have broken away from their tribes and do not hesitate to commit atrocities against their victims. And they commit like looting, doing immorality, and salute on others. Very important report from Human Rights Watch indicates that the cause roots of Janjaweed date back to the era of Sudanese President Ja'far Numeri, 1969 to 1985, where he recruited those tribes from Rizegat and Miseria in South Darfur, and they called them at that time Marahil. Marahil, the one who is the one or that move. And then Ja'far Numeri recruited those people to fight against the Jongarang rebellion in southern Sudan that started in 1983. And those Marahil, they are very brutally attacked the southern Sudan. And they have very famous crimes that committed in the Ain town of Darfur, where around 1,000 Southerners has been burned alive in the train, and that is during the regime of Numeri. Also, during the Sadiq al-Mahdi 1993, there is a trace back for this Janjaweed, where the government of Sadiq al-Mahdi, the late Sadiq al-Mahdi, used them also to fight along with Sudanese armed forces. And unfortunately, that time has been under supervision of the retired General Burma Nasser, who has been supervised this Marahil. And also there is another point of view saying that it is competition between the Ummah Party and the National Democratic Party, where you find some tribes like Zagawa, Rizegat, and Masalit allying with the Democratic Party, where the other tribes like Rizegat and allying with the Ummah Party. So the rebel in Darfur. This is the brief history about where the Janjaweed started. And then in 2003, a rebel by the Justice and Equality Movement and Sudan Liberation Movement revolted against Sudan government. And they have this motto or slogan of their generalizations. They see there is unbalanced development in their regions. They ask about power sharing and about wealth sharing. And then it started to fight against Sudanese National Army. That was in 2003. This is where the government of Al-Inghaz, the Salvation government at that time, came in to use the same Janjaweed. At that time, they gave them the names of the National Borders Guards. And then they used them to fight a long way with the Sudanese National Army to defeat the rebels in Darfur. Situation goes bad to bad those Janjaweed, or they call him Arab, committed heinous crimes against Darfurians, burns villages, killing innocent peoples, and whatever that crime you think about it, they committed against the Darfurian and society, killings, burning, looting, and plundering. In 2004, the United Nations Security Council resolutions number 1556 has been adopted at that one to rein the Sudan armed forces together with their allies from the Janjaweed forces because the UN saw this is a crime against humanity, genocide. So this is why they issue these resolutions to put things in order. But again, let me check this slide. Okay. Another stage of the Janjaweed is 2007, where is Muhammad Ahmed Hamdan Daglo, or Elias Hemeti. He's one of the Janjaweed militias or paratroops, defected and declared his rebellion against the government of Sudan. And he citing that the reasons because the government failed to pay financial dues to his forces, and then began fighting the regular forces, promoting the Sudan government to offer Hemeti incentives to ensure his return. His incentives include paying salaries retroactively, granting his forces leaders office ranks, and promoting him to rank of brigadier. In 2013, these militias were restructured and reformed after the former president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, issued a presidential decree that legitimized them, naming them the Rapid Support Forces. That we have here an station where they move from the Janjaweed, that is the bad names, the calling names, and they give them the Rapid Support Forces, and that will affiliate them with the Sudanese National Intelligence and Security Services. And then the Sudan Chief of Staff at the time refused to transfer the Rapid Support Forces affiliation from security service to armed forces because the peoples in the National Army, they refuse to accept them as a part of the regular army because they are known as ruled, brutal, and undisciplined. So basically, the leader of the armed forces refused to accept them to be part of the armed forces, and then they suggest that to be considered separate regular forces directly under the president of command, Omar al-Bashir. And then Omar al-Bashir did so, put them under his command, and then Muhammad Hamdan Daglo was appointed as their leader. And the force activities expanded from Darfur to the Blue Nile, South Kordofan, throughout Sudan. In 2017, the Rapid Speed Forces law was enacted, making them an independent security forces affiliated with the armed forces according to the law, which states that the Rapid Speed Forces are national military formations and adhere to the general principle of Sudan Armed Forces. 2019, when the regime of Omar al-Bashir thrown, the Rapid Response Forces enjoyed kind of self-governing, and there is a law on the armed forces, which is Article 5, has been removed by General Burhan, and that does not subject them to the armed forces regulations, making them independent from the army with their own regulations. From here and on, the Rapid Response Forces began to expand, and then they have many camps. They recruit new people where they try to acquire arms. Even they go further to have their own military, like fighting jets, like have their own air defense system. But things work them for well because they have all the independent these things, and also they have the money. The rapid forces define themselves as national military formation operating under the command of the general commander, aiming to uphold the value of loyalty to God and the homeland, adhering to the general principle of Sudanese armed forces and its hypocrisy. This is what they put in their charters. But later on, when the war broke, saw them how the hypocrites are. All they say, providing support to the regular Sudan army in its missions and defending the country from internal or external threats, carrying out any task assigned by the general commander of the armed forces, addressing emergencies in the country as stipulated by law, contributing to the spread of security and peace, and adhering to the internal threat. The next station from the rebels, RSF, from 2020 2023, where there is a constitutional document, there is framework agreement, and there is political disputes. During their times, when al-Bashir regime's throne, Hemeti himself was appointed the vice president of the Sovereign Council's chairman in his deputy of Al-Burhan. Also, he was made the head of the economic committee over the world, all over the country. And also, he was made the chief person who regulated the Juba peace agreement between the rebels from Darfur and other peoples from Blue Nile and from Central Sudan. They come together and have this Juba peace agreement as a part of the transitional government effort to stabilize the political situation in Sudan. A military-led transition government was formed and announced that it would rule for 2 years. It is a traditional period, and it is a shared government between the civilians and the armed forces commands. The constitution was suspended, and the government institutions were dissolved. The people were told that Sudan would soon prepare for free and fair election that we have never seen up to date. During these two periods from 2019-2021, there is a degree of military and civilian power sharing. The situation shifted, however, in mid-April 2019, with increasing power going to the civilians, but the people demand a complete end to military involvement, where they are asking for civilian government. But again, what kind of civilian government they need, nobody knows. Because if you want to have a civilian government, you must have the mandate. The only mandate that can be given is through elections. But the political forces, especially the freedom and change forces, it is an umbrella group of oppositions leaders who oppose al-Bashir regimes and who claim that they are the leaders of the revolution in 2019 that overthrew al-Bashir, and then they have the right to govern Sudan by the civilian government. But again, the question is still there. What kind of civilian government that you want to have? The only way you want to have a civilian government, you must have an election. Because in political science, There are three types of government. Either you have a democratic elected government, or you have autocratic government, or you have transitional period. This transitional period is meant to prepare the country for an election, and that let the people of Sudan choose whom they want to govern them. But again, the civilians of the free and change forces, they refuse, and they say that the military must seize or give them the power to govern, but they never mention or talk about the mandate they want to govern the Sudan. On June 3, 2020, the UN Security Council adopted a UN Integrated Transition and Assistance Mission in Sudan, UNIMAS, to follow up the UNIMAD. Okay. When these things got out of hand and dispute continue, the UN Security Council stepped in and adopted the resolutions. They have civilian missions that will help Sudanese people to transfer the power from the security forces to the civilians. And actually, this UNIMES has been under the Chapter 6 of the United Nations and has been done on demand of the interim Prime Minister, Mr. Hamadok, who secretly, clandestinely wrote to the UN that demand this mission. But still, even though the UN adopted these resolutions from 2010 to 20, and then still the demonstrations continue. People are not happy with sharing power between civilians and the security forces, and demand complete transfer of power to the civilians. But again, on what terms, nobody knows. How that could be done, nobody knows. If they say it depends on they call it constitution's document that regulate the power sharing between the civilians and the armed forces, there are certain conditions and terms that they'll never follow. One of these conditions is within 3 months, there is a General Assembly of people to be elected or to be chosen as a parliament, where they say could enact some rules. Among one of them is how the elections will be done. But that, again, it never seen the light because of this infight between the armed forces, the civilians from one side, and also within the same civilians peoples, there is infight. This goes like this, and then during this time, there is 3 parts that involve in regulating this transitional period. One of them is the freedom and changes forces, it's an umbrella of civilians who overthrown the government of Umar al-Bashir, and they claim they are the one who have this absolute right to govern during this time, and they have the right to choose who is supposed to be among this umbrella. And they claim that they have the veto that to decide who must be in and who must be out this umbrella. This is one side. You have tripartite composed of the UN Security Council mission, UNIMAS, and you have the African Union, and you have the IGAD, intergovernmental organizations. This is one part. The other part is quadripartite it is four parties, including United States of America, including United Kingdom, including Saudi Arabia, including United Arab Emirates. Imagine the number of the people, 75% of them are foreigners. Name it, even if you call UN mission, the African Union, the IGAD, you have the United States of America, you have United Kingdom, you have Saudi Arabia, you have United Arab Emirates. But things didn't go well. And the freedom and change forces, through their steering committee of bar association, they adopted what they call the framework agreement. Framework agreement is a document that have some suggestion for how the traditional period should be run and should be regulated. But again, it has been, first of all, it has been drafted by one of the civil society in South Africa, meaning that the ones who initiate this draft framework agreement is not Sudanese. Number two, in this framework, the freedom and change forces, they put themselves the sole proprietors of this frame agreement. And as I said, they have the veto to accept from the civilians, political parties, who is supposed to be in and who's supposed to be out. This followed by workshops, including security and armed forces reforms, and they adopted kind of many workshops, deliberates on different issues. But the critical one of them is how to restructure security apparatus and the armed force. And this is the problem began to brawl, especially when Hemeti, the leader of the Rapid Support Forces, demanding that they need 10 years time to be integrated within the national army. And during the 10 years, they want to be independent. But nobody will accept that, especially the army, they refuse. So this is where the tension began to raise. And then that everybody knows that things is going to be out of hand and the war is going to break soon. And this is what has happened in April 15, 2003, where the Rapid Support Forces besieged the Marawi airport and claiming that they want to neutralize the airport because it uses the fighting jet that will attack their positions, and things began escalated and more complicated, and war broke down. And then just I will give you, before I finish my presentation, I give brief what the RSF brutal crimes against civilians have been done. Please bear with me to show these brutal crimes that RSF committed against the civilian objects, like hospitals, like power stations, like water stations, universities, schools, occupying civilians' house, killing innocent people, name it. This is just an example where they attack this Marawi dam. Please, can you notice or see this? What's this Okay. Shabili.
Dr. Ahmed, I think we can't see the video.
You cannot see it?
Yeah,
It doesn't appear?
no,
Why? Let me see it.
I guess there is a technical thing.
Let me see it, okay. Can you see it, Prof?
No,
No, huh?
no.
Another video, you know.
Probably you'll have try to open in a tab in your browser, in a new tab. Dr. Ahmed, what do you think if we can stop you there for a while?
Okay.
Then we proceed to the next speaker. Thank you very much for giving us a complete historical overview of the genesis of the conflict.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that has been really inspiring, because for most of the observers, people think everything started on the 15th of April, but actually it has been going on long before that. It has roots from decades before the 15th of April of 2023. Now, thank you, Dr. Ahmed. We'll come back to you, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
So now let's move on to the next speaker, Professor Muhammad Nur Taha. Prof, the floor is yours.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you very well, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بسم الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear organizers and all participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
First of all, it is my pleasure and honor to be part of this very important forum on the conflict in our very lovely country, Sudan. Maybe before I start my presentation, just 2 weeks ago, we present an article on the conflict in Sudan. Maybe in 2 minutes, I'm going just to read the executive summary of that article, as Sudan has been obsessed by this fatal conflict since April 15, 2023, when fighting exploded between the Sudanese armed forces that is led by the General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the paramilitary rapid forces commanded by Hemeti, and that is Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo Hemeti. But the conflict began as a struggle over power between the two military parties.
Prof. Taha,
Yes.
I'm sorry
Yes.
for interrupting you, but we are not seeing you. We're not seeing anything. It's a black screen.
Yeah.
Hey.
We cannot see anything. We cannot see anything.
Why?
It's only black.
It's only black. Why?
Please, there could be some technical issues on that side.
I wanted to make a suggestion.
Yes.
Maybe because I think my device is okay and the network, probably you could let another presenter as Professor Taha comes to my office and he does his presentation from here because we are in the same campus.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Dr. Abdul Samad. So in that case, Prof. Nasruddin, can you take over as we wait for Prof. Taha to manage his technical issues?
Yeah, for sure. No doubt for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very well. If you don't mind as well, I will share with you for the audience view the PowerPoint so as to make the thing more a little bit attractive than just talking.
Thank you very much.
Okay, here I put my title over here, as you can see. Wait a minute, let me share with you first of all. Here's I write for me, host disabled participant screening sharing.
Oh, let me check.
Yeah,
You're
please.
supposed to be co-host. Prof, can you try to share? I think you should. You are co-host.
Still give me the same thing, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. I will send it to you right now to your WhatsApp.
No, it's okay. I think you should be able to. Let me check. Prof, it should be okay now. Can you try again?
Yeah, we'll try. 1 minute. Still give me the same answer.
Oh, why?
Don't know what's going on. But never mind. Let me just drag the presentation for you. You can just share it from there. I send it to you, Dr. Siraj. If you don't mind, you can open it. Yeah, now you receive it.
Okay. Allah Akbar. I'm sorry for this, but
It's okay.
let's take care of it, inshallah.
Okay, while you are doing it, I will start my presentation.
Yes.
Here you go there. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Siraj. Thank you, IIMU, for this chance to us to explore about the current conflict in Sudan, causes, effects, and the way forward. And as the chairman right now, Dr. Siraj, when he mentioned about Sudan, it is well known that Sudanese are the most peaceful people, if I'm not mistaken to say, in the world. They are very, very peaceful people. They are not people of any trouble or any killing each other or creating trouble for any situation. And wherever they go, they behave the same way. Yeah, thank you very well. It is here now. Yes, we can go for presentation number for the first one. The Sudanese are very peaceful people, as I mentioned at the beginning. They are very peaceful in their handling. The culture of the people over there is a culture of highly educated, coming, as I say, from the education of Islamic education. And always we follow the hadith of our Prophet ﷺ, that when he mentioned at Hajjat al-Wada', that when he mentioned that the people are protecting from three issues. We have to highly protect them. That is to protect their life, to protect their art, and to protect their dignity. And this is what we educated our people, educate us, our parents, educate us from the beginning. So when this war start to escalate, or the matter of the war start to escalate, people in Sudan, they can notice it. They can notice that they are new faces. They are not our people face. Different faces. The first thing that people, they notice, those people whom they come from West Africa, whom they later on joined Janjaweed. Alhamdulillah, Dr. Ahmad al-Baqi, right now he mentioned to the people about the history of RSF. I don't want to go for that one, but Alhamdulillah, Dr. Ahmed, he mentioned about that one. For me, the main causes behind this war, I can put it into following. Really, in this war, even though that I'm 100% supporting Sudanese armed forces, but I have to be, at the end of the day, as academician, have to be fair enough with all the people from two parties. What I can see here, the main causes behind all of this war, I can summarize it into 8 points. That's the first point, that the power struggle between military factions. That is between the leader of RSF, Sudanese Armed Forces, and between the General Hamiti, which is the leader for Rapid Support Forces. The matter here is that the leader of the armed Sudanese of RSF, they give this Hamiti high power. And I guess it is well known that if you give someone more power than required, that person at the end of the day will stand against you. And one day he will raise up this weapon at your face. If there is no guide, if there is no guideline, if there is no other ethics to put him down. So this is the first thing. That is the power struggle between the military faction. Secondly, that I can see from this main causes behind this war is the delayed democratic transition. The military retained control despite public demands for democratic governance. But at the end of the day, military, they feel that, they have a feeling that they are, which is known as external interference in Sudan. And that one is true. The days prove what the army are afraid of. And in this one, inshallah, in short, I'm going to talk about it. In October 2021, the military staged a coup that derailed civilian transition, but the tension started to grow up between both Al-Burhan, he is the leader of the armed forces, and Hamiti. This is what I can see very clear. And here, the leader of the armed forces, he gives Hamiti a lot of uncontrolled authority to do whatever he wants to do in the country. And this is what, even though the intelligence people, the armed intelligence, all of those, they write reports about him to the leader, but nobody knows exactly why the leader at that time, he never took a very serious steps against the guy. And here, always, I would like to say that one, in safety of the people, there is no compromise. No compromise. You have to be very strict. If you are not very strict, the consequence of failure of the safety, it will be a lot. Next slide. The third point that I can mention here about this point here is the disagreement over security sector. Disagreement over security sector reforms. And here we can see that one, SAF wanted a quick integration under central military control, but RSF, fearing loss of power, and for sure, after there has been given a lot of power, they feel that we are going to lose this power. And they start to make themselves as a parallel power to the government, which is armed forces. And here a real conflict is starting. This is whereby the real conflict starts in Sudan. Third important point is that this conflicting led to the open warfare fair in April 2023, whereby they refused totally to be dissolved in the army, according to the army, because the army at that time, they start to fear that this body now start to escalate and they become very strong, and at the end of the day, they will lead to a lot of trouble. So this is the third point for me. The fourth point is the legacy of Omar al-Bashir, and this one, Dr. Ahmed al-Baqi talk about it. And this one, and here I come back to this point that this is the most of African problem, that a leader would like to lead the country for decades. For decades. He doesn't want to give up or to transfer his leadership to another party. Omar al-Bashir, for your knowledge, that he led the country for almost more than 30 years. And for me, whatever you have in your mind, within 10 years, you can give it. After 10 years, you cannot give anything back. You cannot give. Therefore, another people supposed to come and control. And this one of the major problem in all African countries, and one of them is Sudan, for no doubt. That is Omar al-Bashir leading the country for more than 30 years, and he doesn't want to step down. He wants to continue for life. And this another point that lead to a lot of problem. The fifth point for me that leads to all of this problem is that regional and international interference. Why regional? And I guess everyone knows that Sudan is surrounded by 8 neighbors. Sudan location is the best location all over the world. It is the heart of African and Arab countries. We are exactly at the middle of African and Arab countries. We are surrounding such countries like Egypt, like United Arab Emirates, like Saudi Arabia, like Russia, like China, America. All of those people, they have interest in Sudan. Sudan have huge resources. Huge. What I can tell you, huge resources. Water alone, the only country where, as I mentioned many times, the coming war in the world will be the war for water. The only country that they cannot suffer from this war is Sudan. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the Nile, the river from Jannah, which crossing from north to south, or from south to north. In addition to the water body that we have inside the land, in addition to other rivers from here and there. So huge, and the land is very big. We have gold, have minerals, we have rare materials, all of those one we have. So all of those issues will add on to the causes of this war. So, and one time, people say that they are all international intelligence army people are in Sudan. That is the time whereby I can say that is the time of whereby the people feel that they are not secure, they are not safe. The people have repeatedly protested against military rule and economic mismanagement. Also, this one add on to the problem, because really at that time there is mismanagement. Mismanagement followed by what? Corruption. We have to face the truth. Corruption is a lot at that time in Sudan. And always here, it come to my mind, that is the surah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell the angels, telling them that I'm going to create human being. Then angels in Surah Al-Baqarah tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala what? Telling them that, are you going to bring human being whom is going to corrupt? Corrupt always, brother and sister, followed by killing. أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء. Look, any country worldwide, any corruption immediately followed by killing. People will kill each other. So this is another issue that add on to the problem in Sudan. The second important point that I can see over here is historical politicization of identity and governance. Do you know that Sudan, since he took his independence in 1956, up to date, we don't have identity? Yes, we don't have. We don't have one constitution up to now. We don't have, unfortunately. because any leader who come, any president who come, he start to delay this matter. Why? Because he would like to benefit from one point to another point. So from that days up to now, we are struggling a lot. The eighth point, that resources competition. Resource competition, and this one, it come very clear. This one of the issues that allow this Hamiti to feel that he is very strong. Hamiti control of gold. Do you know that we have mountain of gold in Sudan? It's known as Jebel Amir, mine. And that one they put Russian people whom they come there and just to dig and start to harvest the gold and take it by directly through airport to United Arab Emirates, to Russia, and to other parts of the world. And this one, by the way, is not a matter of my saying. This one proven by the immigration people. Yeah, it is there. It has been proven. So RSF dominate lucrative gold mines, smuggling routes, and many in Sudan. So this one resisting military oversight. So military feel that they are become weak, this RSF become very strong. And the worst come to worst when the government, the military, start to give their best army to support, to work as consultant with the RSF. And the RSF in their mind, because RSF, what is RSF? According to Dr. Ahmed Abdulbagi right now, when he explained, it is a matter of a family. How come you put the whole country in one family or in one tribe and another tribe, which is Rezagat and Miseria? And under one family house, which is well known, known as Al-Mahiriya. This is what creating all of this conflict in Sudan. Those here in general, those are the causes. I will give, if you want me to continue, I can continue, but I want to give a chance for my other colleagues before I go to talk about the effects and the way forward.
I think, Prof, you have another 10 minutes. You can go.
Okay, then let me continue. I will talk about the effects of this current war. What is the effect of this current war? One of the most dangerous one for this current war is a humanitarian catastrophe. This one of the things that I can see very dangerous. From this one, what you can see right now here, we have mass displacement. The war, at the end of the day, it is not a war between two parties, not a war between two armed. It become a war between RSF and the people. This is why allowed the whole people of Sudan to stand against RSF. Because at the end of the day, RSF never go to army places or army compounds. They start to attack people in their houses, evacuate the houses, raping families, females, taking their cars, taking their jewelry. So it become a matter of, and not only that one, the worst come to worst when it become a matter of mass displacement. Mass displacement that would like to change the whole style of life of the people of Sudan. Therefore, they in Khartoum, you can imagine that there are 12 million persons at that before the war. During the war, when it starts to escalate and escalate and escalate, Khartoum may have only 1 or 1.5 million. The whole rest are disappear immediately from Khartoum. Everyone run somewhere here and there. So therefore, over 10 million people have been displaced completely. Both internal displacement and refugees flows to neighbor countries like Chad, South Sudan, Egypt, Ethiopia, Southeast Asia, even in Malaysia here, Central Republic Africa, Uganda, Eritrea, Djibouti, Rwanda, any place people they would like to run there for life, they run for their life. This is one of the bad issues, effect of the war. Second one is high civilian casualty. Tens of thousands of civilians have been killed. According to the journalist union, they say that at least 500,000 people have been passed away during this war from 2023 April up to date. 500,000 people, they never counted yet. Those are disabled, or those they are injured, or those are in, they go here and there. But the counted 500,000 people have been killed. More than 1.5 million people have been injured, many in urban compact zone, especially in Khartoum and Darfur. Those are the main part that have been totally affected. Widespread reports of massacres, ethnic killings. People will start to kill the people based on the ethnic. You are from this tribe, they will immediately they kill you. Sexual violence, that it become a lot. Torture, particularly in West Darfur, when they put the people alive inside a hole and they put fire on them, killing them at the moment. Another part of the effect of this war, collapse of basic services. And here let me explain to the audience how this one has been really affected. I will talk here about 3 issues. Healthcare, over 80% of hospital conflicting in zone in Khartoum and other part of Al Jazeera, and therefore completely out of service. Is that all? No. All the country's people, they spend a lot of people in human capacity. During this war, all human capacity which has been built up over more than 60 years back in Sudan, all of those human capacity now, either some of them killed, or all of them migrate, or other of them, they go here and there. And for sure, when the country start to come back, Sudanese people will suffer a lot, because a lot of people, especially from healthcare, from education, from higher education, from a medical doctor, from all those specialization are not there anymore. Water and electricity the infrastructure has been damaged completely. And by the way, I bring here to Malaysia from Khartoum, I bring water and I bring the land and I make tests on them. The result is unbelievable. The land of Sudan right now, I have 2 papers, inshallah, I will publish soon, and I presented them in last October in Cairo about the effect of the war on environment regarding the air pollution, water, and sand and sand pollution. Something unbelievable, brothers and sisters, due to bombing and chemicals which has been used and smoke coming out of those chemicals. People cannot believe it. Inshallah, publish that one soon. Education has been estimated over 17 million children have been denied education due to closed or destroyed schools. This is why I told you this war is not war between 2 powers. It is war between the RSF, between SAF, and between the human being and the public. That's why all the public now in Sudan are against this Janjaweed. We have another point that here I would like to mention about this effect of the war, that is economic devastation. Sudanese economy has nearly collapsed, by the way. I cannot say absolutely collapsed, but nearly collapsed. How is that one? That is disrupted agriculture. One day you can imagine that agriculture in Sudan, people, they will well know that the only people worldwide which will not suffer from any hunger is Sudanese. Due to have huge land, not only huge land, organic land. Sudan is a very organic country. Yes, disrupted, especially in farming region, shut down major trade routes and industrial center, which has been completely destroyed, and for sure, due to the war, has been closed out, caused severe inflation and flood shortages, because the people, no one is there to take care of this point. Local currency has been plummeted completely, which causes severe inflation in the country. So this really, those point here has been people in Sudan, they can feel it a lot. Before war, the currency has, from 2023 up to date, the currency has been escalated to more than, if I'm not mistaken, more than 500% escalated. So you can imagine how that one will affect in Sudanese economy. The fourth point that I would like to talk about here is the breakdown of governance. Breakdown of governance. The country has been effectively collapsed in many areas. As of, that is number one, the functioning civilian authority. Their community is not there. No functioning civilian authority. As I mentioned to you right now, all the countries worldwide, they pay a lot of money for human capital to build up. Without human capital, you cannot build up any country. So that one are not there anymore in Sudan. Combating military faction control different territories in Sudan. Low lawlessness and impunity prevail with armed groups, militia, and even criminal gangs exploiting this vacuum. So this is what's happening exactly right now. No law in Sudan. During that time from the war, now the law, alhamdulillah, start to come back. People start now to come back to their origin. And people start now to set up, putting their hand together to build up their country. Set back to democratic hopes. This one now completely is out of picture. And nobody knows up to when, up to where. And trust in political people, even Sudanese people, they lost trust in politicians in Sudan because they become part of this war as well. Ethnic and regional violences. In Darfur alone, this is the west of Sudan. That is, the conflict has reignited ethnic cleansing, particularly targeting what is known as Masalit. Masalit, this one of the ethnic or one of the group in Sudan, and non-Arab groups in Sudan. So therefore now become matter here, there in that part of Sudan. So start to killing those Masalit people, and they kill them alive, by the way. They put them either in halls, in group of people, and just putting on them fire, or putting some sand on them and killing them alive. Conflict risk fragmenting Sudan further into ethnic and regional enclaves. Also, this one creates some trouble for them, for all Sudanese people, right? And also spillover and regional destabilization. These refugees now become Sudanese people, by the way, they never get used to be a refugee. We are not prepared for that. Sudanese people, we are family oriented. We are people whom they can listen to their senior, respecting the parent, respecting the great parent, respecting the elderly. We have a great respect to the people. So the first time ever that people, Sudanese, become refugee worldwide. They have a fear of regional war, especially in the foreign actor support from different sides. And that one, well known, I don't want to mention certain countries to be said that one, but all the information is there and is spread it in the media. Everyone knows about it. Red Sea region now is becoming more militarized, with implication of international shipping and security. Culture and education collapse. That one was there. Universities, schools, kindergarten, all what is known as Islamic school, Catholic school, all of those schools have been completely shut down. Cultural heritage sites have been damaged or destroyed. A whole generation is at risk. I can say that the whole generation. That is the generation which is coming right now, which now become futureless. They don't know what may happen tomorrow. And the last one here is widespread of human rights violation. That's the civilization bears the burden of conflict, experiencing indiscriminate attacks, sexual or gender-based violence, including gang rape, including abduction, including sexually slavery, and it is there. First time ever in the history of Sudan that we find that Sudanese female has been sold out to another country like Chad, like Libya. That one never happened one day in Sudan. And even forced marriage, even before the completing age, for the age of 14, 15 issue. So therefore, this one, real people supposed to look at it. Okay, let me, since the time now is running very short for me, let me go again straight forward for the way forward. For my own side of view, what is the way forward? Number one is that would like to have immediate ceasefire and humanitarian access. But the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire, not like the other people when they say no for war, stop war. This word I don't like. Yes, we have to cease fire, but how could we stop the fire? How could we go for immediate ceasefire? People of Sudan cannot accept this ceasefire. Yes, even though it is urgent priority, but supposed to be with justice. Anyone who is the cause of this war, anyone who kill, anyone who rape, anyone who steal, anyone who took things which should not belong to him, supposed to be immediately justice supposed to take action against him. Whomever, under whatever, whether from the SAF or whether from RSF. Allow unhindered humanitarian access to the affected areas, especially conflict zones and besieged cities. And here we have to be very aware also from those type of the humanitarian aid, because in Sudan and worldwide that it is proof that this humanitarian aid has been hidden by another agenda. And it is very clear now in Sudan that is even humanitarian aid coming from worldwide, from United Nations, etc. They support one team against another team. And this is what adding on and allow this war up to now to continue. Protection of civilian, this one is high priority. Hospital, aid workers, infrastructure must be non-negotiable. Those things supposed non-negotiable by any means for me to us to allow the people to come back to their life. What the action step to be here? That is leverage international mediator. That is, we have to look after African Union, IGAD, UN, Saudi Arabia, US. Those people, trusted people to Sudanese, those people supposed to put some pressure on both of them, right? We have to impose a consequence like sanction. All of this one supposed to be taken, lifted up from Sudanese people, because those now, when they start to book some sanction against Sudan during this situation, you add as if you add fuel to the fire. And this what add to all of this problem now in Sudan. This is the first point. Second point that I would like to talk about here is that peace negotiation. Yeah, but also people here in Sudan, peace negotiation between whom? Between someone who killed, between someone who raised up, who raped the people. People supposed to be for this peace negotiation. People Sudan will never ever accept Hamiti to be part of this negotiation. Yes, people they talk with the tribe of those people, or whether Miseria or Rezagat, whatever. And one of the issues, normally I say, one of the main reasons behind, I forgot to mention this one at the beginning, one of the main reasons behind this war is the ignorance, الجهل. When you find that youth and with ignorance, they are not educated, they just follow people blindly, they don't use their brain, so therefore they lead to all of this crisis that we are in right now. We have to include civil society, youth movement, women group, ethnic regional representative, and democracy actors. All of them, those people supposed to sit down together. To do that one, we have to have some principle. What are those principles? Number one, no return to power sharing dominated by warlords. Impossible to have two big armies in one place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran Kareem that لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله لفسدتا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if they are too good, it will be corrupt. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about himself like that one. So you can imagine that you put two armed forces in one country. What is the consequence? This one not happy with this one, immediately he will shoot out. So this is the first thing that we have to unify the power. We don't want to have two power in any part of Sudan. And the word of the power to be only for Sudanese armed forces, full stop. Number two, justice and accountability for war crimes must be part of any deal. Any deal, justice and accountability, supposed to be over there. We Sudanese people, we don't want to say that forgive for what has been done. No, we don't want to have forgive. We don't want to forgive anyone. Anyone who rape, anyone who steal, anyone who create trouble, anyone who make destruction, anyone who because the cost of closing, steal the car or taking what is supposed to come to the justice. By this one, people we can move forward. Another important issue is that we have to ensure about transitional justice mechanism and truth-telling process. Yeah, Sudanese, we trust each other. We have to bring people from all of those tribes to sit down together, to talk to them, so as to tell the truth, where is it over there, so as to be aware about all of those issues. Demilitarization and security sector reform. Yeah, we don't want to see any militia in Sudan. Yeah, unity of army under civilian oversight, and end up of all of those type of trouble immediately. end of practice of building parallel security structure. We don't want to have parallel or two power in Sudan. That one community cannot work. The last 2 points is that we have to look after restoring civilian governance, resume the stalled democratic transition, supposed to be well known, a period of time. In this period of time, people will go for democratic transition. And we have to draft and adopt a new constitution. And all Sudanese people supposed to be share of that constitution with wide public input, hold free and fair election once conditions allow, but not before political institution. So for me, in general, we don't to go forward. We don't want to go for institution or to go for election. We have to build up the constitution first of all. After that one, then we can go for constitution peacefully. Then we can go ahead. The fifth point here that I want to talk about is for the addressing the problem. We have to look after addressing the root causes. Root causes, we have to talk about it. Those are our root causes. We don't have to get shy of that one. So as build up new generation with ethics and values, telling them this what has happened and those type of period. Then we have to be fair and talking the truth about to new generation. Just like about accountability, as I mentioned earlier, and coordinated international support. That is humanitarian aid, diplomatic alignment, economic recovery. All of those points, people are supposed to look at it very deep and very critical. And the last 2 points is that long-term stability. That is, people supposed to look after long-term stability, stopping the war with justice and accountability. But we have to look after long-term stability. Stability brings sustainability. Then we go for federal governance, whereby we can address marginalization to Darfur, Blue Nile, West Sudan, North of Sudan. All of those areas are in need to immediate federal governance, economic recovery, debt relief, and investment in agriculture and industry. People are supposed to look after this matter immediately. And last but not least is inclusive political process. Political process. And here, for this political process, I stress to have the new generation to be part of this transition or political process. And we have to forget about any people who is over 60, over 70, over 80. Those people, we don't want to see them taking any part of our decision, so as people life to go for the new stage. And by then, I guess we can go forward and we can recover very fast in Sudan. Thank you very well, Mr. Chairman. I will give the chance for any other people, and I'm really be ready for any question later on.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Prof. Nasruddin. This is very, very, it is a succinct summary of everything that we need to hear. And really, it is refreshing. And I've learned so much listening to this, sincerely.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
I like your starting point when you talked about the Sudanese people. And this is my personal experience, my life. I graduated from Libya. All my 4 years, I lived with the Sudanese, the most wonderful human beings I've ever seen on planet Earth. And here on Malaysia, I've had wonderful Sudanese friends, including Dr. Ahmed, who were together during my PhDs, and even here working in the university. I went to Khartoum, and wonderful, beautiful, great hospitality in Khartoum itself. We went to Bahri, and it was disheartening, it is devastating to see how the conflict has destroyed the whole beautiful city and the beautiful social fabric. May Allah bring sanity, inshallah.
Allahumma ameen, inshallah.
Ameen. Prof. Mohammed Noor, are you ready?
Yeah, he's ready now. He's ready. Can you see him?
Okay. Yes, not yet.
Now you can see me. Not yet.
Okay, yes, now we can see you.
Okay, thank you.
You want to talk first or you want to share this?
Well, you share and then I talk. Just
Assalamu
alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As I said, you presented the paper on the conflict 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I picked 3 points from that paper that because my colleagues covered a lot of important information on the history, the causes, the effects and implications of the conflict ongoing here in Sudan. But I emphasize the main factors driving the ongoing the current ongoing conflict that include the struggle or the power struggle over military integration, and besides the economic incentives, especially that gold smuggling for funding the military parties, and but importantly also the unresolved transition after the fall of the Umar al-Bashir regime in 2019, and then also most importantly the ethnic and regional tensions in historically known as the marginalized peripheral areas, and and foreign. Most importantly for me is that the foreign interventions. But I can add to the effects and the implications of the conflict. Apart from that, humanitarian collapse and ethnic violence. In some literature, we found that it is raising the fears of genocides, but we had experienced really the genocide, for example, in Genena and some other cities, and right now in some parts here of Kordofan, we had experienced a real genocide conflicts. So the otherwise others are include the cultural and traditional loss, the economic collapse pushing millions into poverty, and the state fragmentation lead to the breakdown of our national sovereignty and regional stabilization. So I add my voice also to now we over more than 1.5 million people were killed, and more than 12 million displaced internally and abroad, and millions face starvation. And now, yes, I came to Uganda for another issue, but now I'm living this very bad situation of the Sudanese here, who are not used to get prepared for the as refugees. But now I can say we have millions here in Uganda, in South Sudan, and in Ethiopia, and so this is one of the very bad effects and implications of the ongoing conflict in Sudan. But we said in our in when we conclude our that paper, that the way forward, unless there are some hidden agenda and there is a good intention, the way forward is comprising possible resolutions through immediate ceasefire and humanitarian strips and security sector reform and the transitional political framework, and disrupt that gold financing channels, and the renewal of neutral mediation mechanisms, and the inclusive, as emphasized by my colleagues, inclusive governance reflecting diversity of Sudan's people, and addressing the long-standing inequalities, and of course that international accountability. The I go straight to my presentation on understanding of the current conflict in Sudan, causes, effects, and the way forward. I'm just going to emphasize the points which were not covered by my colleagues, but this is the first in the first slide. This is the burning buildings and smoke over the very lovely capital city of Khartoum, and this is I think this is the first time to see a picture like this, and then it was real, and it is so. This is the effect of the effect of the ongoing conflict. This is a situation of the Sudan, as emphasized by my colleague. It is bordered by more than many countries, like 8 countries, and this is the flag map of the Sudan, and my talk will focus on an introduction and the chronological summary of major conflicts and wars in Sudan. As I said before, this is not the first one. The main factors driving ongoing conflict, effects and implications of the ongoing conflict, and possible resolutions and the way forward. And besides pictorial presentation, exemplifying the consequences and the implications of the conflict, and I conclude with some references. The Maybe for the benefit of the Sudanese, and especially in particular the two parties, two conflicting armed parties, and for the Ummah as a whole, as we are Muslims, and from our curriculum here in our faculty, one of the main agenda is the origination of knowledge from Holy Quran. So, and with emphasizing the knowledge from Holy Quran on conflicts and wars between Muslims, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is saying in Surah Al-Isra, ولا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا. I can translate it that it is translated as so we should not, or we do not kill the soul which Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has forbidden and has made sacred, except by right, except in the course of justice. And whoever is killed unjustly, we have Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said we have given his and his next of kin certain authority, excessive but let us not exceed limits in the matter of taking life, in the matter of killing others. So we should not be excessive in killing. Indeed, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala said He will be, or He will be have the supported that one. This is in Surah Al-Isra, and this verse forbids unjust killing among the a common feature in civil strife, and urge limitation of justice. So from Sunnah, Sunnah Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and there is a hadith إذا التقى المسلمان بسيفيهما فالقاتل والمقتول في النار قيل يا رسول الله هذا القاتل فما بال المقتول قال إنه كان حريصا على قتل صاحبه. When the two Muslims confront each other with swords, both the killer and the killed one are in the hell fire. And the Prophet ﷺ was asked by the companions, "O Messenger of Allah, we understand about the killer, but why the one who is killed?" He replied that he was eager to kill his companion. And this is hadith sahih. This hadith also strongly condemns the killing, and that is the conflict and war, and highlights the moral and spiritual dangers of internal Muslim fighting, even when does not succeed in killing. So we have to, as I said, when we do our things with bad intention, that we should be accused. The Sudan has been grappling this with a devastating conflict since April 2023, and this is between the Sudanese armed forces led by the Al Burhan and that rapid support forces, or the Janjaweed, led by Hemiti, and this struggle broke out among tensions over the integration of the rapid support forces into the national arm during the transition to civil rule. Historically, Sudan has faced cycles of conflicts and rooted in the ethnic dimensions, divisions, marginalization of peripheries, and the militarized governance dating back to post-independent and once enduring the regimes of Nimeri, al-Bashir, and beyond. But I can just for summary of these conflicts, the first Sudanese civil war was between the 1955 up to 1972. The second one is the second civil war is 1983 to 2005, and then the Darfur conflict started in 2000 to 23 up to now, and then South Darfur and the Blue Nile conflicts between 2011 up to present, and then there's a conflict on Halab, a triangle dispute between Sudan and Egypt, and the ongoing since 1958, and then the armed protest against the okay. Let me see the screen. Share the screen. Yes, the armed protests and the downs between 2013 up to 2019, and then this the in 2021 to 2020 first that coup and post crisis, and now that one we are experiencing now that the present war between the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces that and now it is it has come to this yes I don't bit here to the displacement, starvation, ethnic killings, and the state the fragmentation of the Sudanese community. This is part is now under the under the armed forces, part is the rapid support forces, and part is under the power of other groups. Maybe the main I can add here, I go through it very quickly. In addition to what has been emphasized by my colleagues, that the factors driving the ongoing conflict, that is power struggle of military integration, and the rank structure and control of the state, the economic incentives, especially that gold is smuggled to fund these rapid support forces, and unresolved transition after the fall of Omar al-Bashir in 2019, and the military autonomy and economy, both forces control vast economic resources that in terms of gold mining and the import routes, which they use to fund operations, making them reluctant to share the power. And this is not only these rapid support forces, but also the forces that is the repellents in the or the repels in the Nuba Mountains and Abdul Wahid in Jabal Marra. So ethnic, okay, the ethnic and regional tensions. Historically, there is a marginalization of peripheral regions like Darfur, Kordofan, and the Blue Nile, as emphasized by many parties, and unresolved grievances and have deepened this conflict. And then, but most importantly, that the foreign intervention that some countries are supporting the rapid support forces, others are standing for the government, and this is let me conclude. So I can add to the effects and implications of the ongoing conflict in terms of humanitarian crisis, as emphasized by my colleagues, and the humanitarian collapse of the of the of the institutions, the ethnic violence and the genocides, the economic collapse, the state fragmentation, the cultural and institutional loss, and the regional destabilization. The possible resolutions and the way forward, as I emphasized before, if there is unless there is a hidden agenda and we have good intentions as Sudanese. So the possible resolutions can be summarized in terms of immediate ceasefire and humanitarian corridors, inclusive governments. That's long-term peace depends on the creating a government that reflects the diversity of the Sudanese people and address the long-standing inequalities, the traditional political framework leading to power sharing, and then security sector reform, disrupt gold financing channels via targeted sanctions and monitoring involving regional bodies like IGAD and the African Union, or and Western diplomacy and civil society actors. Then also the renewal of neutral mediation using the regional and international bodies, and most importantly that international accountability. So there are many references on when you can consult the literature on the current conflict in the going on in Sudan, in Arabic, in different languages, but but I'm going to conclude with some pictorial display that underline destruction, displacement of and the human cost of civil war, burning buildings and smoke over homesteads and structures, and that urban warfare and its effect on civil life, and the smoke across devastated landscape, and the white shot of black smoke blowing over the flat terrain left in the wake of clashes, and then crowds of displaced civilians and refugees, and then humanizing refugees crisis and making the impact instantly relatable foreign policy, and then the militia fighters assembling and the paramilitary and repel fighting. Then this is the demonstration of this is the smoke over the Khartoum, the capital of the Sudan, and this is also the smoke in some areas attacked by the rapid support forces, and this is the soldiers and the and rebels, and the same also for them. And this is also again this is the forces, and then all these are the forces, and this is the examples or display of the refugees and the and displaced people from different from different places, as emphasized by my colleague. More than two, now many have gone or have left their home states to other places inside the Sudan or outside the Sudan, to the neighboring countries, and then this is the time. Okay, just I show these pictures, and then I conclude. Later we share with this it is there. Many of them are in the media, but I picked the most important ones, and then exemplifying that is the suffer, how much the Sudanese are suffering now from this ongoing conflict. And then maybe I conclude with this, and I thank you very much for listening and the follow up, and so I will be waiting for your comments and inquiries. Barakallah fikum. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khairan, Prof. Muhammad Noor. That was really informative. One thing I noticed here, when we planned this webinar, we thought 2 hours enough for us to get an idea of what is going on. And looking at the way time is running, we need actually, maybe we'll consider this as an introduction. Inshallah, in the future, we need a longer time to go into the details of whatever has gone on and what and the way forward. But I really appreciate, and we have really learned a lot. Now, before we proceed, giving more time to the first speaker, I would like to acknowledge the presence with us here, the Executive Director of the African Forum for Muslim Councils. Now, this is an important organization which is bringing together all the religious leaders of Muslim communities in Africa. And recently they were accredited to represent the voice of Islam in the African Union. So we have with us Dr. Ibrahim Salih. Dr. Ibrahim, can you hear me? I want him to just say salam to us in 2 minutes. Dr. Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you, Professor Raj, and thank you, distinguished professors, for your wonderful and very touching presentations. All I can say, you just made a remark and saying that when you are planning this
Dr. Ibrahim, your network, we can't get you.
Enough. But you say that let it be an introduction, following up and trying to see what is happening in Sudan and see what we can do. What we have noted and observed, the voices of the intellectual. My network, can you hear me? Stable network.
Now we can hear you. The network wasn't good at the beginning. Please proceed.
Prof, can you hear me?
It is on and off.
Hello?
Yes. Okay. Now
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Can
Now
you hear
we
me?
can hear. Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Yeah. Briefly, my intervention is very going to brief is that I think let this be the beginning of the involvement of the intellectual, probably working with the religious leaders. With me on this platform, I know time is very limited, but let me introduce two of my members. Sheikh Najjar Dafir, the President of Islamic Council of South Africa. Dr. Ostaz Omar Firi, the President of Islamic Council in Zimbabwe. And also with us on this forum is Honorable Nasruddin Mufareh, the former Minister of Awqaf. Actually, he wants to say something maybe later on when you get time to give him the chance. But thank you for inviting us to this important forum. And I think we should continue getting involved. And at least this is the least that we can do on what is happening to Sudan. Thank you so much. Maybe my two members can give salam and then we proceed. Just salam. Sheikh Dafri Najjar from South Africa, Sheikh Ferry Omar from Zimbabwe, and Sheikh Nasruddin Mufareh. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Sheikh Dafir Najjar, Sheikh Omar Ferry, Maulana Nasr Nasruddin Mufareh. Probably we can proceed. They can come in later on. They are there online. They're following. Yeah.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we go back to the first presenter, Dr. Ahmed. Yeah, time is really against us, but it's a great learning experience, and I think we need more time in the future to have a longer discussion about this very important issue. Dr. Ahmed, can we give you about 3 minutes to conclude? Dr. Ahmed?
Hello?
You are muted. Yes, please.
Yeah, did you hear me?
And now we can hear you. Yes.
I think the two speakers have taken all the time, and then I think we need to, although I did raise my hand to complain. Anyhow, let's case time. I think I have just to comment on misconception that mentioned about two speakers, Professor Nasruddin and Professor Muhammad Nur.
Yes.
They portrayed the wars as two general wars. It is misconception, actually. It's not two general wars. This war has been actually initiated by the RSF.
Okay.
And from the beginning, they said that we went to overthrow the government. But unfortunately, instead of the government, they attack everything in Sudan. Number two, it is not a civil war, because now everybody in Sudan is affected by this war. If you look at the people who support now the armed forces from all walks of life, different tribes, different regions. So it is neither two general war, nor it is civil war. But also they forget to mention that the international dimension is a proxy war, actually. The exact meaning is a proxy war. And one of those people involved is UAE, Emirates. Emirates play a crucial role in fueling this war, actually. So the main dimension of this war is a proxy war. Actually, RSF didn't have any political agenda to implement in Sudan. Sometimes talk about democracy, sometimes talk about marginalizations, name it. I tell you one story. The main proxy war that the Emirates plus United Kingdom supported this war because of many reasons. Yes, I mentioned one.
Yes.
Look about the gold. There is reports saying that the Emirates from 2012 up to 2019, they have 117 metric tons of gold from Sudan through joint venture between Al Junaid. Imagine 117 metric tons of gold has been gone to Emirat or United Arab Emirates. And this actually has been long time ago. But yet, from 2010, 2014, the Emirates has gained from the gold 4.5 billion US dollars from the gold from Sudan. So it is a proxy war in the main one. And now this is why I was wondering, Emirates is not our neighboring country. Why do they be busy with our own affairs? And also don't forget about the international dimension in this war. US involvement, United Kingdom involvement, Emirates involvement. This is one thing. This is why because no time, I cannot say this is two general wars or civil war or religious war. RSF attacking everybody, and the quality in the Quran or in the Islam is Sa'il, aggressor, who loot people's properties, who rape women. So what we are doing in Sudan, we are doing self-defense, which is permitted by the religions, international laws. So let's put things in their proper orders. It's not simply we say that, it is two general war, it is civil war, no. It is not correct. And I can go further. Let me don't take the time, let other people take time. Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. We understand your point, and I think we need a longer forum to discuss all those detailed issues. To be fair to the other two speakers, they hinted at it, but they did not go into details, probably because of time constraints. And when you talk about the religious dimension alone, we need a whole one-day conference to discuss that one alone.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
So, Prof. Nasruddin, tafadhal.
Yes, thank you very well. Thank you, Prof. Siraj. Thank you, Brother Ahmed, and all my colleagues. In fact, we never say that this one general war between two parties. We say that this one a matter of disorder from the RSF, but we say that one the problem is coming from the leader of the army of Sudan because they give them a chance. I told before that if you allow somebody to be parallel to your power, he will attack you for no doubt. This is why it is impossible to have two power in one country. This is one of the main reasons behind the war. Yes, RSF is the main reason. They are disorder. They never obey the order, and at the end of the day, they put all Sudanese into conflict. And their war is not against the army. Their war is against a human being in Sudan. This is what making all of this type of the trouble. For me, we have a lot of dimension we never mention here due to shortage of time. But I do believe that one, for this matter to go forward, now we are in the matter to go forward. To go forward, we need the role of Attorney General. We need the role of the justice people from the army, from police, from whatever. We have to stop the whole penetration to the Sudanese issues. We would like to sit down Sudanese alone. Yes. Now, Dr. Ahmed, he mentioned about United Arab Emirates, or you talk about USA or UK or about whatever. At the end of the day, brothers, if you are weak, allow other people to penetrate you. This is why even in Quran, say that one, even between you and your wife, if you are in conflict, try to solve it internally. The moment that you go outside, it becomes out of your control. Our problem is that we allow other people to penetrate our decision. So this is one of the main reasons behind this war right now. We don't have to allow anybody from outside, because anyone who comes from outside, he comes with his own agenda. No one is coming purely to solve your problem. And here I remember the story of Umar ibn al-Khattab when he sent the two people to make a sulh agreement between two families. Then they come, they say that they don't want to come for agreement. Umar ibn al-Khattab, by his stick, is known as a durra. He beat them in their head. He told them, what? I have to believe you or to believe the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, in yurida islahan yuwaffiq Allahu baynahuma. And you never want islah between them. So the moment that you allow the thing to get out of your control, don't blame others. We have to blame ourselves. All this matter happened in Sudan. I'm not blaming United Arab Emirates or blaming USA or blaming any countries. We have to blame ourselves because we never stay together. Only right now, Sudanese people start to become one hand and start this why now we could put all of those RSF back, because Sudanese people, they realize that we don't want to stay as refugee for good. That's why all the people coming back to Sudan and start to stand beside the army. And one of them I will stand for good behind my army, because I do believe that those leaders of the army one day will pass away. But this army of Sudan is supposed to stay for good to protect Sudan's government. We have to look at that one. We will never support RSF because this one is a tri-force, tri-power. We cannot stand beside tri-power. We have to start beside the general power, that is Sudanese armed forces. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you very much, Prof. Nasruddin.
Would I say just a few words, please, Prof? When I say it is the proxy war, the international dimension, I don't mean that we are allowing people to manipulate us. This is what I don't mean. But I see that when you consider these causes, one of the causes is the international dimension that you never mentioned. I don't talk about manipulations. I agree with you. If you allow people to manipulate you, of course, this is what they will do. But now you are living in a small village, because everything is affected by international arena, politics everywhere, national interest everywhere. So you cannot just say no. This is what I'm trying to say, that when I mean international dimension, I don't mean manipulation. Actually, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes. Siraj, can we give you some time for questions, because in the chat box we have some questions.
Yeah, we have some. Okay, I've looked at the questions, Prof. Because let me see.
Dr. Kalim Alam from Jeddah is asking some questions. It is there.
Yeah, we had questions from Mr. Mohammed, and that is a very big one which can't be answered in this forum. Why has it taken so long for the world to recognize the war
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
devastating impact on the Sudanese people? And the second one, I think, has already been answered by the presenters, is the division between Arab and African communities in Darfur, one of the factors contributing to the complexity of the social landscape. I think they have already addressed that. So now, Prof. Kalim, I think please go ahead, ask your question. Then we'll come back to Prof.
Dr.
Mohammed.
Kalim, can you ask your question? Okay, let me read his question. Okay, he's there. Okay, please.
Yes, Dr. Kalim.
This is
Kalim, go ahead.
to Professor. This is to Professor Nasiruddin. When Professor Nasiruddin was talking about the killing of people of other tribes and opposing individuals and putting the individuals of opposite group in the hole and burning them alive, reminds me of Ashabul Ukhdud, mentioned in Surah Al-Buruj, where a Jewish king burned more than 20,000 Christians alive. The consequence of this act was complete destruction of this Jewish kingdom in Najran, Saudi Arabia. This leads me to the question, what's the position of Islam?
Dr. Kalim, we lost you. Are you still with us? Prof. Tamim?
Let me read his question.
Yes.
It says, this leads me to the question that what happened to Islamic teaching? How can you kill your brother, rape and burn people alive? Number two, Prof. Nasruddin, when you don't want election, how are you going to agree over new civilian government? You didn't put the formula forward in the presentation.
Thank you very well. Thank you very well, brother. The first question about where is Islam about all of that one. For your knowledge, this area of Sudan in Darfur, this is the area whereby long time the history, those are the people whom they support the Kaaba and they start to give the kiswa of Kaaba coming from this area in specific. Most huffaz of Quran are from this area of Sudan. The most people who knows about Quran is from this part of Sudan. But I say at the beginning, the matter is a matter of ignorance. If you look at the whole history of Islam, that is what happened after Prophet ﷺ death. That Dawla al-Abbasiyya and Amawiyya. Why the people killing themselves and continue up to date? That is when it comes the matter of Jahl and Asabiyya come in the middle, then after that, the Islam will disappear. This one point. The second point, when you say that one, talk about the election, I never say I don't want election. No, I say we have to build the constitution first, then we go immediately for election. Yeah, how come we are going to go for any country without election?
The question is how you're going to bring that constitution? How you're going to bring the people
together? This is why I say we have to distribute the constitution.
That's the basic question.
Yeah, we have to distribute the constitution. Yeah, the scholar, all the Sudanese people, or the leader of the country, all the political people supposed to address the constitution, agree about certain aspect of this constitution, then distribute it to the people of Sudan. Then majority must agree about the constitution first, then people sit down for election. This is my point.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Nasruddin. Now, Prof. Mohammed Noor, please give us your concluding remarks. You're unmuted, sir. Prof, please unmute. You are muted.
Chairman.
Yes, please.
Now you are hearing me.
Yes.
Yes, I wish that soon enough the situation in Sudan gets stable and safe and peaceful. So next time when we meet like this, so we discuss the reform and transition after peace. But the second point, I'm wondering that some people, some of the Sudanese who are now standing for the rapid support forces, whether I'm wondering whether they have excessive personal ambitions that rapid support forces can take the power in Sudan, or they could have been convinced by the others who are intending to take the power through these forces. But I conclude with one thing, that the Sudanese dialogue is the only effective mechanism for successful warfare to solve this conflict in Sudan. So whenever, as emphasized by one of the participants, whenever we sit as Sudanese together, we can resolve our conflicts and our problems. Thank you very much for the chance.
Alhamdulillah. So thank you very much. Really, I know we need more time. This is just the beginning. Probably we will need a longer or a full conference, probably a full 1 day or 2 day conference, and bring all the scholars together. But it has been a learning experience for me as someone who is interested in the Sudan issue. I've been following since the beginning, actually, of the beginning of the events of the April 15, 2023. I've been following, and I still follow on a daily basis what is going on, what is on the ground. It is painful for me as an outsider. I'm not fully outsider. When I look at the places I visited in Khartoum, the places I lived in, and they are totally destroyed, the homes of friends that I stayed at, it is painful and very sad, and I can't imagine the pain for the Sudanese people yourselves. I lived in Uganda during the time of conflict from 1981, 1983. But our conflict was totally different from the Sudanese conflict in that most of the fighting was in the rural areas, in the remote areas. They only came to the capital to capture power, and not so many people died within the capital. Not many buildings were destroyed. But here you have, for 2 years, all the fighting is concentrated, and all the beautiful monuments I saw when I visited have been all demolished. It is totally disheartening, but that is it. And we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all those who He has taken as martyrs, inshallah, to heal those who are wounded, to return those who are displaced, and to give us peace, to return Sudan to peace and prosperity, inshallah. Please switch on your cameras. We are going to pause for a group photo for our memories, inshallah. Are we ready?
Before that, Mr. Chair, I have a humble request.
Yes.
For the organizers to share with us the contact of the all participants, so we can share our ideas and information.
Okay. One way that actually would be very good, and I've shared in the chat box, one very good way would be to join the IMO Fellowship Program, because here we have all the contacts, emails, and phone numbers, WhatsApp numbers. We have a WhatsApp group, and we share everything that is taking on here. Whenever we have a forum, and members can contact each other. That would be one very good way to get in touch with everybody here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So,
Sister Aziza, can you take photo, please?
Assalamu alaikum. Can I say something? Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Magda from Insa.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm seeing my sister, Dr. Magda, after a very long time.
Yeah. Actually, subhanAllah, we were trying to organize a conference on that. And we are calling it Sudanese Academic Forum for Institutional Reform. We call it SAFIR. This one, we want to make, focus more on economic development and developing the country, focusing on this. Yes, we need political economics, but at the same time, we want, our students to focus more in, be positive, bringing whatever good cases they have in the different Muslim countries, and they can try to implement it in Sudan. So actually, we are with the help of Islamic University Selangor. We are organizing on the 8th, okay, on the 8th of next month, a roundtable discussion. And I believe that we can invite you, Dr. Siraj, okay, and the others, inshallah.
Please,
Dr. Ahmad is also invited. So, and Dr. Nasruddin, Professor Nasruddin is also invited. So we need your knowledge on that, your input in that, and inshallah we can collaborate also with the International Islamic University
exactly.
in
So,
making a series.
Dr. Magda,
Yes.
this will be a very good opportunity to collaborate with the International Institute for Muslim Unity, because this is what we do here.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Then we can also unite. Okay. In this case, inshallah, I'm going to communicate with you to get more information on that. Okay. And we will be more than happy if you can moderate also for us the roundtable, inshallah, on the 8th, if you are free.
Inshallah.
Okay. Okay, inshallah. Thank you.
Yes, so please, let's switch on the cameras.
1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
So, alhamdulillah. So thank you very much. And it has been a great, wonderful pleasure. It is a learning experience for me and most of the participants here. And we hope to have this kind of intellectual discourse soon, inshallah. With this, we end the program by reciting Surah Al-Asr and Tasbih Al-Kafara.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ربنا ونتوب إليك.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيكم.
السلام عليكم.
الحمد لله.
Thank you very much.
بارك الله فيكم.
الله يبارك فيكم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.